Hey there, folks. How you doing? Thanks once again for coming out to another Curt's Corner. Sorry it's taken so long to get this one out, but I've had a lot of a lot of issues going on, but those seem to all be taken care of. And today, what I thought I'd get into is something I never ever thought I would get into, and that's politics, and specifically the upcoming presidential election. Now, who you intend to vote for and who I intend to vote for is really nobody else's business. I'm just having a hard time understanding what the hell these Trump supporters are, what they see, what makes them think that Trump is qualified to be president of the most powerful country in the world. I'm really having a hard time. This has probably been the worst presidential campaign that I've seen in my 55 years of life. And when I say the worst, I went on Donald Trump's Twitter page today, and you know, you don't have to be in love with your opponent. You don't have to like your opponent. You don't have to like anything about your opponent. This is in sports, this is in business, and even in politics. But for a grown man to run a country, and in his campaign, every tweet he starts that deals with Hillary Clinton, he calls her Crooked Hillary. Now, I can remember doing that when I was in the third grade. If there was something you didn't like about somebody, that's how you would address them when talking to somebody else. In the third grade. I don't think that somebody who's running for the frickin' president of the United States should engage in that kind of behavior. That's just my opinion. If you see me looking off to the side, it's because I wrote a bunch of notes down. I'm not saying that failure is bad. There's tons of businessmen who have failed at one thing or another, and that's how they get to where they are at the end of their careers. Failures made them go back and do it again, but do it better. I'm looking at a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 failures for Trump. Trump Mortgage, Trump Network, Trump Airline, Trump Steaks, Trump Casino, Trump Magazine, Trump Vodka, Trump University. And I didn't even go and look, and I didn't even look to see how many freaking times he's been married. But that leading up to a presidential campaign, for lack of a better way to put it, just doesn't seem presidential to me. I saw an ad that he said that he has very successful companies. Believe me, he knows how to make successful companies. He knows how to make some that aren't so successful also. I've also been waiting for him just to answer questions that are asked of him. When they ask him a question about foreign policy, I'm no expert on foreign policy, and I don't pretend to be an expert on foreign policy, but I don't believe the president should say, I have people that are going to teach me about foreign policy, or I don't believe that when you ask him how he's going to deal with the job situation in the United States, he says, well, I know how to make jobs. I'm good at making jobs. how are you good at it? Show me. Show me. I used to work in Atlantic City. I know the people that are out of work because he packed up and left and filed bankruptcy. I know that. Is he going to do that to an entire country? Who knows? Here's a guy who's making suits and ties and all other kinds of shit over in China, talking about companies here that are leaving the States. And he's making shit in China. He's going to run your country. Anybody that's considered anti-Trump, he calls them anti-Trump losers. This is a guy that people that I know want to become the president of the United States. Here's a guy who for years and years and years harped on the fact that President Obama wasn't born an American citizen and he wanted to see a birth certificate. He wanted everybody to see that birth certificate. Everybody. And this guy won't even show us tax returns. I don't get that. How hard is it to make your tax return public? Not hard at all. If you're gonna throw stones, you shouldn't live in a glass house. I read while I was on his Twitter page, I saw one of his supporters, just one, and I know this doesn't mean they're all like this, but one of the supporters, and their motto was, "Oh, we'll raise up our glasses against evil forces, singing whiskey for my men and beer for my horses in the great state of Texas." Whoa. I can't imagine. We've got, the United States has other countries laughing at us. And what one of the people on this page I was reading said, may God help USA and the world if the clown they call Donald Trump somehow becomes president of the United States. That's just not my opinion. That's the opinion of people who are watching this from the outside, people who actually see the big picture. They say that Donald Trump is a Pied Piper of the low information crowd. They say that. I'm just reading it, but it's been said. It's amazing. Now, I'm looking right now at the same page where a gentleman says, you can try and make all the simpleton excuses for this cretin that you want. The truth remains, however, that Trumpadite is simply a village idiot, quite on the same plane as your GWB. He flops because he can't remember exactly what he actually said it was more than 2 days ago. And when we say that he's flopping, we're saying that he's flopped on minimum wage, he's flopped on health care, he's flopped on taxing hedge fund managers, he's flopped on immigration, he's flopped on abortion, from pro-choice to pro-life. So he's a guy, I guess they call those kind of guys con men. He's the kind of guy who's going to say whatever he thinks you want to hear to get the vote. And I'm just shocked. I'm shocked out of my drawers that it's actually worked this long. So what I hope you do is pay attention, and vote accordingly. And I kind of agree with this person. May God help us all, especially USA, if this clown they call Donald Trump becomes president of the United States. Thanks for tuning in to Curt's Corner. I'll see you again real soon. Have a good day.